Hello, I'm Pastor Claudio Ferro. I'm here to introduce you to Insieme Spiritual Tour to discover the spiritual warfare and spiritual mapping with inspiring seminars and tours. In this tour you will discover how the spiritual powers have governed and controlled the history of the world since the beginning.
Lord, you are my shelter, my refuge in the storm. The rock of my salvation, nothing can compare.
A spiritual tour through the land of central Italy, discovering the spiritual mapping of Rome from ancient religion to today. 7 days to discover spiritual mapping and spiritual warfare with inspiring seminars and tours.
The rock of my salvation, nothing can compare to this gift that I have.
Talk to you about the spiritual reality and the spiritual map over the city of Rome, the other. But today we can still see the remains, many of the remains of this ancient city, like the place where I am now, next to the Porta Maggiore. We can see some spiritual places, some things that have a spiritual, that can show us a spiritual reality. In fact, we call it the spiritual mapping of Rome, where we can see in the map of Rome some very interesting places. Some places that have a meaning behind the architecture. And we will discover together this meaning. Because when you discover in a city these places, the location of these places, and how they have a spiritual meaning, even in the people that have built those places, we can start to discover behind what we see in the natural. We can start to discover the spiritual reality that there is behind the city. And so to pray for the city, to pray strategically for the city, to pray in a way that we can really hit the enemy, I think is important for us today. So I want to bring you in this spiritual trip with me in the city of Rome to discover all his behind the natural into the spiritual.
My salvation, nothing can compare to this gift.
The spiritual tour includes a teaching session, The Heavens, tour on a boat of Bolsena's Lake to discover 3,000 years of history of what was the spiritual navel of the world for its religious importance and the temple in the island. A teaching session, The Spiritual Hierarchies, tour of Orvieto and Civita, important medieval cities. A teaching session, The Spiritual Mapping of Rome, tour of Rome, the Vatican Museum and St. Peter Cathedral with local guide. A teaching session, The Army of the Believer, the Spiritual Armor, lunch in a local characteristic restaurant in Viterbo and the tour of the city. Viterbo is called the City of the Popes, for centuries it has been the main residence of the popes and today is a strong religious fortress. A teaching session, The Spiritual Battles in the Bible, workshop, how to identify strategic points of the city and draw a spiritual map, how to train a group of intercession.
It's your faithfulness, it's your faithfulness.